So I knew this would happen. I'm sure the majority of us knew it would happen. But yeah, the man in the high castle, the champagne socialist, the man in the big house in the hours, um, he's signed in the legislation for basically discrimination, basically dividing people against each other. People who aren't vaccinated to go inside again. Basically, one part basically there's no such thing as equal now. I suppose. There's different. It's all by different classes now. It seems like, going by your vaccine status or whatever. To go indoor dining and indoor going into the pub or anything like that. Will be the same probably for shops soon and things like that. We're seeing that in other countries coming out. But he signed it in. He signed it in, even though 1,000 people were outside his house demanding him not to sign it in and to bring it to the Supreme Court. Again, you think he would be like, maybe it's not because I don't know how are they able to swing it that they can basically bring it in the constitution. How it doesn't infringe on civil liberties, and where's the Irish Council for Civil Liberties? Because obviously this infringes on people's rights, and we have to be honest. We have to be honest. We can't lie here. It is totally against human rights, and it's totally against people's rights and people's um different um basically limiting the freedom, in other words. And you think he could again. He can veto it 5 or 6 times to the Supreme Court, for reference to see if it's if it's legal. It's the same in America. He can veto it to the Supreme Court. I think it's the Congress here defeated it over there. It was passed through the houses of the Oireachtas. But again, I remember. I think Mary Robertson was Mary McAleese vetoed the bill, and it was sent to the Supreme Court. And it was a long time in the Supreme Court, and it was partially had to pass it eventually. But it's out of Mary Robertson and Mary McAleese, but it happened before. And again, the OT and the Western were trying to say, oh, the president had no choice in this; he had to sign it. Again, I don't think President Higgins understands. Um, I wouldn't even call him president. I think he's lost that responsibility again as commander in chief of the army too. He's lost that respect, from me. But again, I say to people to remember this, to remember him. Again, he only said he would run for one term, and he's still there. He's still in the hours. Um, again, he could have vetoed it. He could have vetoed it to the Supreme Court. At least then, we couldn't blame him because again, it'd be up to the Supreme Court to say, it's because I don't know how they could swing it. Again, they couldn't go left or they couldn't go right in the Supreme Court because they couldn't say it's allowed in the constitution. Because again, I don't know how they could do it. I don't know. And again, even though many people protest and everything like that, apparently it's water under the bridge for the government. They just don't care about it. And that's again, they don't listen to the people. And again, the vast majority of people, gets you see it trending on Twitter and things like that. People. It's not that there's one or two giving out about it. There's a lot. Could be 100,000 people in this country that are, or maybe 200,000 people in this country that gets it. Or even could be more. God, it could be 500,000. Could be 1,000,000 for there was no poll done or anything like that on it. But that's just a rough estimate. 200,000, I say, people gets in this country. That's just a rough estimate because I said there's a lot of people just against it, full on against it, because this is infringing on people's rights. Now we all know if the government gets away with it, we see in England, nightclubs, you have to have a COVID vaccine passport. But we see it's going to happen here if we're going to the shops, going to the cinema, going here, going there, going outside, going to a public park. We've seen in Greece you can't go to public spaces unless you have a COVID pass. And this is what it's going to happen here. It's just testing the waters over here. And you've seen this already, just to say, because usually when things go to the president and were passed by both houses of the Oireachtas for a bill, usually it's signed in the next day or the day after. They did take their time, and I'll be totally honest, they did take their time here in signing it in, because I don't think they wanted to sign it in immediately. I think they would have probably been good deal of trouble. But again, I said to president, again, there is nothing that can be done now to stop it. There's nothing that can be done because it is, when the president signs, it's technically law, and nobody can really say boo all against it, unless the Irish Council for Civil Liberties come along and say it's a total against everything in the constitution involved, and then it shouldn't be allowed. and even maybe the Supreme Court says, it's unconstitutional even without them going to the Supreme Court saying it's infringing on people's rights. But again, it never happened. It never happened in this country. It happened in the Netherlands. It happened in other countries, but it's never going to happen here. The judges over here wouldn't be asked, and let's be totally honest. But again, it's shameful. That's all I say. Michael Higgins could have said, I refer to the Supreme Court, and again, I would say fair play, Michael D. Higgins. At least you're giving the people the voice. At least you're giving them their voice, and the Supreme Court can decide. But no, he just signed it. He just signed it again. It's the same. I don't think he ever vetoed anything in his life. The Supreme Court. He just signs everything, evictions, everything like that. He just signs it off. So much for representing the people. Again, and obviously will be extended, and it's just a total charade. It's just really just a total charade at this point. But again, I say to people to keep saying boycott it, sit outside, sit on the street if you have to in the freezing cold. Because again, that's the biggest sign of resistance. As you've seen in Tiananmen Square in China, one man standing with shopping against 3 or 4 tanks and stopping them from moving down the street. Something like that just stand in the way of everything can make a huge difference and make a huge image. Like that image is, huge sign. Just talking about it here. That image is a huge sign of resistance. A person who's unarmed and not a danger to anybody, who's basically in the forge of being ran over by a tank, standing there with his shopping bags, facing down the tank. It's something that it's iconic, and it's something that he didn't kick the tank or anything like that. He didn't start trouble. He just stood there and he wouldn't let it pass. So that's something that does show resistance, and does something that shows civil disobedience. Thank you.